Good evening and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, and today is all about shaping up for the summer. We're finally getting some nice weather, so hopefully it's going to remain like this, and if you do want to get in shape, this is the show for you. Now, this is whether you want to lose weight or even put on a bit of weight as well, because we don't normally cover that on the show, but we're going to do so today. So I'll tell you about my very special guest tonight. We have James Daly to my right, who's a celebrity personal trainer.
Indeed.
Hello. How are you?
It's nice to be here. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm looking forward to the show.
Oh, you are? Yeah, so am I. I'm looking forward to get stuck into some chat here about this weight loss and weight gains.
And some squats,
business.
right?
And some squats. You promised me earlier.
Yeah, we did. Okay, I don't know about that.
We'll
okay, we also have with us the lovely Bianca, who's going to be talking about the celeb stuff. And also we're going to be speaking to Steve Booker, who lost almost 5 stone and managed to reverse his type 2 diabetes. That's an amazing story. And we also have nutritionist Christine Bailey, who's going to be rustling up something very nice and healthy for us. And of course, our resident fitness expert, Jane Wrafter, who's going to showing us some moves later on as well. And I think I'm going to join in for some of them at least. And maybe James is going to help us out as well, aren't you?
I'm happy to help.
All right, so let's get stuck straight in. So Bianca, who did you have to tell us about today?
So, right, Chrissy, celebrities are really known for their smoking hot bodies. So what's their secret? Now, they've managed to keep off those pounds and all years round. It's even at Christmas time, I wonder why how they keep their body so slim and everything. So here are the craziest celebrity diets. Let's start with Jennifer Aniston and the baby food diet. Now, she would eat up to 14 servings of baby food each day. Fancy that, Chris?
No, not at all. Maybe as a snack.
Yeah. Have you tried baby food before?
Not that I can remember, probably as a baby, but I don't remember. No, not after that, no.
So she did it when she was trying to slim down for a role with Adam Sandler for Just Go For It. So if you haven't seen that film, she's quite a hot, she's a plastic surgery's assistant, and she's got to be quite hot and quite good looking. So I think she had a lot of pressure with that position as well, to try and look good for that particular role. So she did look really good as well, but I don't know about baby food. So let's move on to the next one. Now, she invented the word bootylicious, so she must know more about diets and what's good and what's not. It's Beyonce and the Master Cleanse. Now, after being cast for the movie Dreamgirls, she decided to go on the liquid lemon juice diet. Oh, God. So it was all about drinking lots of lemon juice. She drank up to 6 glasses.
Of course you're going to lose weight just drinking lemon juice, aren't you?
But would you be able to survive on that?
Did she do any exercise? Do you know if she did? I don't know if she did any exercise regimes.
I don't know. I think ultimately they do some, but it's limited, and sometimes they'll go to one extreme or the other. So maybe not at the same time, but certainly in different spells. They'll, push the diet side of things for a certain spell and then maybe do some exercise. But they tend to go from one thing to another quite quickly. Yeah. So it does vary, really, certainly.
Okay.
And she'd also have with that a saltwater flush and a laxative as well. Wow. So I bet she needed the bathroom quite a lot.
Antisocial, really, isn't it?
It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah. The next one is Sarah Michelle Gellar. She tried out the cabbage diet. Have you heard of this diet? Yeah. So it's basically eating unlimited cabbage soup every day, all day, every day.
Now, I'm sure our nutritionist is going to have something to say about that. Aren't you, Christine? Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
I had a friend who tried the cabbage diet, and she lost loads. She lost about 1.5 stone from it. And she kept, I think she did it, I don't know, I think she did it for about
a month. Did she keep the weight off though, Bianca?
She did, yeah.
Really?
She managed to keep the weight off, yeah.
Does she eat normally now?
Yeah, she eats normally now. She stuck it out for, I think, a couple of weeks. And she was just eating cabbage soup every day. She had like this massive pot. And she was boiling the cabbage every day. That's disgusting. I really couldn't put myself through that. Could you?
No.
No, it's not wise.
It's not, is it? It's like...
It's limited.
Yeah.
That's for sure. If you're just having cabbage all day, every day, you're lacking nutrients, as you'll find out later. So, no, it's a bit limited now. I think it's extreme.
But people do want to lose the weight quickly, don't they? Do you have people coming to you and say, look, I need to lose this amount of weight, or I need to get this into this shape in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, of course. Everyone's looking to lose weight and do it quickly because, there's always a time frame, and it's always quite a quick time frame, whether you're going on holiday or you've got an event coming up, and it's always, let's get it done in a couple of weeks, let's go quick, let's go hard and fast.
Last minute.
So the majority of people do want to do it quickly, and they're impatient. So rather than a lifestyle change with a bit of sustainability, they'll go for a quick fix a lot of the time, and that's unfortunately that's the mentality of a lot of people. So
celebs included,
celebs included, and also people that are looking at celebrities and trying to emulate them. So they want that lifestyle, they want that body, But obviously what you see is limited, and you only see what you're allowed to see from publications and magazines and media. So you can't always, well, a lot of the time you can't go by what you see. You have to think a bit ahead of that.
And let's not forget, a lot of them are airbrushed when they see them.
A lot of them are airbrushed, absolutely. Magazines, again, you're looking at the print and you're looking at what the best possible image of that particular person. So that's as good as they're going to look ultimately. And you don't see what goes on behind the scenes. So whether it's airbrushing, whether they've done some, you know, extreme sort of burst of a calorie controlled sort of burst of activity before or a certain amount of exercise, and you don't see what's going on for months ahead. So it's just that one image that you're focusing on, and that's what a lot of people do. So you're right in the sense that they want it fast, and you know, there's no patience.
Not healthy.
No, it's not healthy. It's not wise.
Not at all.
No.
Next, it's Christina Aguilera and the 7 colour diet. So
hold on, I didn't hear about that. That's the one I don't think I heard about.
Can you guess about? Can you guess what that would be?
So is it sticking with certain foods that are certain colours and just eating those foods? Yeah,
basically what she did. Well, because basically I think I don't know if she got it a little bit wrong. I don't know. We'll have Christine tell us on a little bit later on. But nutritionists often say that adding colour to your diet can ensure that you have a variety of nutrients and you're getting lots of different
I've heard
variety.
That before.
Yeah, so Christina, what she did was she stuck to a colour a day. So Monday she'll have white food, Tuesday she'll have red food, and so on.
Is that just vegetables or meat as well?
Just anything of any colour.
Steak.
So
whatever she could get.
Brown chocolate.
Yeah, whatever.
So on Monday she could have, for white food, she could have potatoes and onions.
Oh.
And maybe those little white chocolate mice.
Yeah.
Have those as well. Lots of those. I'd make the most of it if I was doing that diet. It's horrible, isn't it? But I don't know if that's even going to help her. I don't know if is that a proven thing that works? I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say so from my opinion. But what you'll notice is a pattern emerging that everyone's always looking for the next best thing or some way out, almost some quick fix and some gimmick. So it's whatever the next thing is, whether it's let's eat 7 different colours or let's eat no colours and I just stick with white food. You know, it doesn't you can call it what you want, but ultimately it's looking for something else that people believe will get them to where they want to be in a short amount of time. So it is desperation and being a bit deluded with what the reality of the situation really, and not knowing also, not having the understanding of what you need to do to achieve the results that you want to achieve.
Which you'll be telling us about very shortly, wouldn't you?
Which I was telling you about, indeed, I was. And there really are no quick fixes. And I always tell people that, my clients, and I know that sometimes it's not what they want to hear. You know, I never tell people what they want to hear. I will tell them what they need to hear and the facts of the matter. And sometimes it's not as attractive. And when you're, you know, certain brands or certain institutions will sell you an idea because they know you will buy into it. Yeah. And, you know, ultimately the truth is that there's no quick fixes, and it will take hard work and consistency and a lot of dedication to achieve what you want to achieve, as long as your goal is realistic. So
no sacrifice, no success.
That's right. Yeah. As I always say, the pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of disappointment. So you have to put the discipline in, but you know, if you let yourself down, it's a lot worse. Yeah. So you're better off just sticking with it, and you will get the results.
All right. So you're going to be giving us a few tips after the break.
I will give you some tips, different tips that you can apply, and you know, get the results. You know, as quick a time frame as you can, and that's possible.
Deal. We're going to listen to that after the break, and we're also going to be joined by Steve, who lost 5 stone. Well done to him. So he'll be joining us after this. Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you.
Join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to our Shaping Up for the Summer show, and I now have with us Steve Booker as well, who's lost an amazing 5 stone.
Nearly.
Gosh, well done.
Thank you for the invite.
It's okay.
Nice to be on here.
And James, you're going to be telling us about a couple of celebs that you've been training.
Yeah, I will do.
One to lose weight and to
quite a mix. One to lose weight and one to gain weight, which actually we forget sometimes that that's a goal of a lot of people to.
Let's start off with the losing weight since we've got Steve with us. Yeah. So who are you helping?
I worked with Michelle Moan for a while, who's the founder of Ultimo Lingerie, and she's she's changed her body dramatically over time, and she's actually lost around 6 stone in weight since she started on her journey to lose weight. And being the founder and running Ultima, a lingerie company, a large lingerie company, she really has a stressful job. It's constant, and you know, there's pressure and there's a lot of stress day to day. So she piled on weight, and while she was building her business, and she's lost, as I say, 6 stone. She's down to a size 10 to 12. But more importantly, not just about the weight, she actually is healthy now. She's healthy. She looks good, and she's comfortable with her body and in her own skin, which is the main thing, really. It's not just about the weight loss, but it was a big part of doing that. And her success has been down. I mean, we worked on some circuit training in the gym, and she also worked with. She was based in Scotland. She worked with other trainers, and she lost the weight by following a strict regime of eating, a healthy calorie restriction, and working on getting the basic principles right. So with the 2 aspects of nutrition and exercise and consistency and sustainability, she actually achieved her goal, but she stuck with it and she kept going. Yeah. And it wasn't a quick fix at all. It was a case of putting in the effort and really making sure, you know, she ticked all the boxes.
So you mentioned stress, and that was the reason why you put on weight, Steve, wasn't it?
Yeah,
what was going on?
Busy business life, you know, never making time for myself to eat properly.
So what kind of things were you eating? Just junk food and stuff?
Well, I mean, a typical day for me would be skip breakfast. I have to get to the office.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Do we have any pictures of Steve actually before? Let's bring a couple up. We've got them ready. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Carry on.
Yeah, well, skip breakfast. Lunch would be... yeah, that was last March.
Wow.
Yeah, quite
last March. So it hasn't been that long then.
Well, that was me just over a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, weighing just around about 21 stone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really tall as well, aren't you?
Well, that's how I used to kind of justify it, because being tall, I could. No one used to call me fat. You know, if I'd have been 5'4" rather than 6'4", I probably would have had a different, look at it. But quite simply, when you stand there at 6'4" at 21 stone, you just look like a big guy. Yeah. And if anything, people praise you for being a big guy. You know.
Yeah. But you weren't comfortable with yourself, were you?
No. I mean, the weight, I kind of managed to justify to myself. It's just part of being a big guy. But the real need to do something come when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Gosh. I mean, some years earlier. And you're young as well. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm in my 40s, so I like to consider myself still a young man. But some years earlier, I'd lost my gallbladder as well. Oh wow. Again, bad diet. Yeah. Put that down to just one of those things. Convinced myself I would do better, but it obviously wasn't a have to. It was a maybe. Yeah. You know, but I got back into business life again and went through the same problems of bad diet. I used to graze of an evening. I mean, when I mean graze, I mean I'd make 10 people's meals look light. You know, I'd sit there and I'd have my dinner while my wife was preparing dinner. Oh, I would have sandwiches around, and again I'd go to bed feeling stuffed. Yeah. And that was a satisfying feeling for me. You know, and I'd wake up the next morning and not have breakfast. Do the same thing again. Oh, you would? Yeah, well, same thing again. I wouldn't eat breakfast because I was still full from the night before. But then I'd tea and biscuits, coffee, you know, I'd drink pot after pot of coffee. Everything that put my body in an acidic state. Yeah. You know, which since... You must have felt awful. Like. Well, I did. I mean, when I found out I was diabetic, be it type 2, when I was on metformin and various other medications, and generally they just brought my whole psyche down. Yeah. I mean, my wife often used to say I walked around like I had a cloud over my head. I was Mr. Grumpy. You know, I just used to bite at people. I wasn't easy to be around. You know, that's the point. You know, it just I got to a point where after many visits with my doctor, I got fed up with the pills. I got fed up. My eyesight was getting worse, which is a side effect of diabetes. Yeah. And I just thought there's got to be a cure for this. And I read somewhere in some article that a restricted calorie diet would almost reverse maybe, diabetes. So I started searching. Yeah. And there I was, Google after Google, night after night, trying to find it. And I come across a website for the Obsidian Retreat out in Spain. And again, sceptical as ever, I thought, well, it isn't going to work, but I could do it 10 days in the sun.
So you went over.
So yeah, there we was. We went out.
And that helped you lose five stone?
Initially, the 10 days, when I went out to Obsidian, they weigh you in, convince you, again, they said afterwards when I walked in I had a cloud over my head. It might have had something to do with the 7-hour delay we had at Gatwick trying to get out there, but they weigh you in, you start the juice diet, so we had vegetable juice diets for 10 days. Nice walk in the morning, but nothing too strenuous, because again, I was still heading the wrong place.
Do you do like exercise on that? Because James, say if someone came to you like in Steve's case, what would be the first thing that you would maybe do with them?
If someone came to me in that situation, or let's just say someone that wanted to lose a significant amount of weight for their health, I would spend a lot of time initially trying to understand what has got them to this point. So why have they put the weight on? What has been their approach? What has worked? What hasn't worked? Like Steve said in his case, you know, he was stressed. You know, he runs a business, or there was a lot of issues there that have led to that, and you don't feel good about yourself, self-esteem. So if you can understand an idea and get an idea of what's happened previously, you can start working on moving forward, and that's what I'll initially do. And working out what their habits are, what, for instance, if it's Steve's case, what he's been eating, why he's been eating it, his daily routine, because ultimately it's a lifestyle change. And whatever you do, it has to be, I know I keep saying it, but it has to be consistent and sustainable, because you can set goals for certain periods of time, which is fine, and those goals might be a little bit challenging, and they might have a start and an end date, but once that finishes, you've got to keep going. So whatever you do, the changes have got to be ingrained in you to be able to just carry on in normal life, because you can't think that it has to change every time you go out or when you go away, or it can't start and stop all the time. What Steve's done is incredible, and he's maintained it. We were talking earlier, and he's kept it going, he's kept the weight off, and ultimately he's a lot healthier for it. There's so many ways that you can increase or improve your health, and if you're heavily overweight, then losing weight alone will do that. But I think it's important from my perspective, certainly what I promote and work with is a case of a balanced, healthy diet. And the word diet's got bad press, because I don't have a problem with it. As far as I'm concerned, it's the food that you take in and out every day. It's the food that makes up your day-to-day eating. So, but because of certain diets, that word has got bad press, and so has certain other terminology within the industry. But actually, it's just about what you put in your body day in, day out, and the exercise can relate to that. But again, in Steve's case, he didn't do a lot of exercise. It was mainly down to the eating.
How do you feel within yourself now that you've lost so
much weight? A lot better. I mean, the key to all this was mindset. The relationship with food. I was using food as a prop for boredom, food as a prop for anything I could find a reason to eat, it would be. And I would never feel happy after I'd eaten, but I felt ravenous before, but it wasn't actually hunger. It was sometimes dehydration. I mean, that's a key one. I mean, since I've gone over to hydrating, every time I feel the slightest hunger pang, I'll drink half a litre of water. You don't feel hungry again. I mean, you do have to eat, of course, but I found that the majority of the times I felt hungry, I was actually thirsty.
So we should try that next time you feel hungry. Just drink some water and see what happens.
Well, on average, I mean, a person my size, I mean, I'm down in 3.5 litres of water a day as a minimum.
Wow.
But taken over the day, that's not an awful lot. You just drink when you can. But it's the mindset that really made the difference. And this is where the coaching I got. I mean, when I went out to Obsidian, I was in the right place to be suggested a way forward, and I needed help, and I recognised that help, and I was ready to make change in myself. I just didn't have the strategies or tools to make that change. And that's why I laid myself before them.
But now you're doing it on your own now?
But again...
But you've reached your what do you call it, ideal, your goal weight?
I've kind of, I mean, your body finds it.
Yeah.
I don't keep trying to lose weight. My body... I mean, I come down 21 stone, I gradually come down, I kept the diet the same. It kept dropping off, and when I got to around 17, it just seemed to stop. I've dropped into 16, 13, I've gone up to 17.5. It just keeps going in and up those 4 or 5 pounds. It doesn't seem to want to get any lower,
Well done. You've done really, really well. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been inspiration to many as well. We're running out of time. I don't believe this.
It's
James,
a shame already, I know.
Final words?
Well, I'll just say that if you're looking to lose a bit of weight, or what we've got to establish here just quickly is that ultimately if you're looking to sort of tone up, you're looking to reduce your body fat and increase muscle mass. That's what you're doing, essentially. Yeah. And if that's your goal, and you've left it too late and you've got a few weeks now, all you can do is really immerse yourself in it, reduce your processed foods, reduce your sugars, concentrate on your exercise, and don't overtrain, but put the quality rather than quantity into the exercise, and have a real balance. But you've really got to be committed to it and do it consistently. You can achieve a lot in a few weeks. It doesn't have to be months or years.
Yeah.
But put some plans and guidelines in place that are sustainable and that you can stick with, and it really will work, I guarantee it.
Wise words. All right, thank you guys very much. You might be around, you're going to be around, stick around to try some of Christine's food, aren't you? To see what she's going to do. So she's going to be joining us after the break, and we're also going to be having Jane Wrafter on a bit later on to show us some exercises, and maybe someone's going to join in as well. We'll have a look. Okay, so join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, and now we have Christine Bailey with us, who's a nutritionist and chef, and she's going to be showing us something very healthy to shape up for the summer.
I am, Chrissy, yeah. You know, we've been talking about how to shape up in the summer, how to nourish yourself, which is what I'm obviously focusing on, rather than just calorie counting. And I thought today we'd show you a couple of really nice, more summery type recipes.
Okay.
I'm hoping that the weather's going to get better.
I hope so.
So one of my absolute favourite ingredients, in fact my children do think I'm slightly addicted to this, is kale. I don't know if you've come across kale.
Yeah.
It's absolutely delicious, but it's also very nutritious. It's very rich in magnesium, in protein, in vitamin K, in B vitamins, so it's very energising. It's part of the broccoli family. So it's cruciferous family, are very known for having a lot of protective effects against different health conditions. So we're going to use this to make what I would call a raw salad. Normally people would
I've never had it raw, actually.
No, most people would steam it or stir fry it. We're going to have it raw today. And then the sort of pudding that we're going to do is going to be with chia seeds. I don't know if you've come across these.
I have.
Yeah.
I made some of your fudge with those.
Yeah, yes, of course. So chia seeds, they come from a plant called salvia, and one of the really good things about chia is that they're so high in fibre. So what we've done here, which I'll make up, is we've actually soaked them in a little bit of coconut milk, and you just soak them for about 15-20 minutes, and they swell up. They almost have a sort of gel-like appearance when you actually soak them, and we're going to be blending those up with some ingredients.
Okay.
But let's do the salad first. So all you need is some chopped fresh kale, and you can get these in all the supermarkets, obviously. And then we're going to use an avocado. Now, I'm a great fan of healthy fats. A lot of people get really worried about, you know, low fat this, low fat that. Actually, what our bodies are crying out for is healthy fat. And avocados is a classic healthy fat.
I love
really
avocados.
Rich in, they're gorgeous, aren't they?
Beautiful.
Really rich in monounsaturated fats, vitamin
hungry,
E,
James?
folate in there as well. Obviously, choose a ripe avocado. And all I'm going to be doing, it might seem a bit strange, but I'm actually going to be massaging the kale with the avocado. So you
massaging?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds a bit strange, but it's almost like making a salad dressing. So what you want is a really ripe avocado, so which, you know, sometimes can be a little bit difficult, but get one of those sort of ripe and ready ones. Then we're going to use a little bit of lemon juice, so just a fresh lemon. And you probably only need about half of it, so we're just going to squeeze that over the kale to almost act like a bit of a dressing. So watch those seeds. Now, another one, Himalayan sea salt.
Nope,
that
sounds posh.
Well, it's richer in
Himalayan.
minerals. It's richer in the minerals, so it's got some iodine in there as well. So you want to get some salt on there, and that together with the avocado is going to soften. So I have got clean hands, I have to say. So all I'm going to do is just massage, and it really is massage. And what you'll find is, I don't know if you can see it, because you start off with a great big bowl of kale. And as you are sort of squeezing that avocado in to the kale leaves, you can see almost the kale seems to start wilting. And it's a sort of natural wilting with the salt, which softens all the leaves. So you actually end up almost with half the amount. So can you see that that's really gone down?
It smells really nice.
It's lovely, but what we're going to do now is just add a little bit of extra flavour, because, I mean, that's fine on its own, but you need a little bit more flavour, really. Now, the reason why we're not cooking it is that, obviously, when you cook foods, you can destroy quite a lot of the nutrients. I'm just going to wipe my hands there, make sure they're nice and clean. So this is a really easy, quick salad as well. So you can prepare this and you can keep it in the fridge. Now, this is something called nutritional yeast flakes. They just add a sort of almost nutty, cheesy flavour to the salad. So if you're, for example, wanting to avoid dairy, it's a really good way of having a sort of cheesy taste. Now, this is an omega oil. So omega-3s, really good for cell health. Very well known to be protective against heart disease, very useful for improving the cell membrane and cancer support. So that was some flaxseed oil. You could use hemp seed oil, flaxseed, any of those sort of rich omega-3 seed oils. Then for a little bit of extra flavour and colour, we're just going to put in some tomatoes as well. Nice. And it's incredibly, but it's an incredibly simple recipe. And it's one of those ones that you can prepare in advance as well. It's not one of those ones where, you know, when you sometimes do a dressing and you have to eat it straight away. So we're just going to put a bit of colour in there. And then just finally, just to add a bit of extra protein, I'm going to add some toasted seeds as well. And then we just toss that up. And that is literally the salad. Incredibly healthy. Now, you could increase the range of ingredients as well. So, for example, you could add a little bit of spring onion, you could add some sprouted seeds. These are literally just toasted pumpkin, sunflower, sesame seeds. Extra protein, again, a good source of the omega-3 fats. And then all you need to do now is just toss that together. And that is an incredibly healthy salad.
Wow. I love salad anyway, but this one looks really nice.
What I find with this is because the kale wilts, then if you leave it for another 15 minutes, the actual flavours develop even further. So it's a really easy salad to sort of prepare.
We should try after the break then.
I think we should.
I think we should,
I think we should try all of these afterwards.
All right. I think we can get started. We've got a couple of minutes to maybe get started on the dessert as well.
Okay, so the dessert, very, very simple. And actually, a lot of people use this as a breakfast pudding, which sounds a bit strange, but it's so high in fibre. One of the easy ways to sort of help curb those cravings is to include soluble fibre. Soluble fibre will swell up in the gut and makes you feel full. And chia seeds are a natural way of doing that. Plus, they're high in protein, fibre, and they've got the omega-3s in there as well. So all I've done is soak those with some coconut. Now we want some flavour.
I love coconut.
And I know you like your chocolate. And this is healthy chocolate. So this is raw cacao powder.
Yeah.
Really rich in antioxidants.
So this is what I didn't find in the shop that time when I ended up getting the hard stuff. And I was like, why is this stuff crunchy? It's not meant to be like this.
That's right. And you can get this lovely sort of soft, it's quite a mild flavour, I think, the raw cacao compared to just ordinary processed cocoa powder. It's got slightly less strength in terms of the flavour. Cinnamon. Now, it's interesting, Steve was diabetic. Cinnamon is one of those spices that improves insulin function. So for anyone with metabolic syndrome or diabetes or blood sugar problems, at least a teaspoon of cinnamon a day helps with the cell function.
I didn't know that.
Very, very useful. And then just for a little bit of sweetness, I tend to use a little bit of raw honey. So raw honey, which hasn't been heat treated, has some antimicrobial properties in there. So something like a Manuka honey or raw honey is a great way. But you see, I'm not using a lot in there. And then all we're going to do, and this will get a little bit noisy, but it won't take it'll just take literally a couple of seconds. Okay. And then all we're going to do is just blend that up. And what you'll find is that you can see that starting to thicken. And what you create is a reasonable sort of thick pudding.
Yeah.
And you can leave this overnight as well, and this will thicken up.
These smells are just driving me
lovely,
crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I had something to eat before I came.
And you see, the actual number of ingredients in here is actually very small.
Yeah.
It's not a lot at all. And then you can leave that as well to soak a little bit further, and we'll just pour that into. So you can see why a lot of people would use this.
Where can we find the recipes for these, Christine?
I think they're going to be on your website.
Oh, cool.
I think so. If
they
not,
are indeed.
If not, they'll be on my website.
ChrissyBshow.tv. And what's your website?
It's advancednutrition.co.uk.
Okay, so they'll be on both those websites.
Oh, and then all we're going to do is just literally...
Jane, am I allowed some? It's natural.
She is allowed some. And then we just top that with a few berries. But you can see this could be a really nice, healthy breakfast option as well.
Wow, that looks amazing.
So if you don't know what to do for breakfast.
All right, I'm going to get everyone to come and try this afterwards.
So
we're going to get Steve back on, Jane, and also James is going to try them as well, aren't you?
Definitely.
Is that you?
Brilliant, James.
All right, so we're going to go to a quick break, and then afterwards we're going to try these lovely things here. The smells driving me crazy. And we're going to also do some exercises with Jane, so join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. I now have Jane Wrafter with me, our resident fitness expert. Hello.
Hi Chrissy, nice to be here again.
It's nice to see you again. So you're going to be showing us some moves today. Can
Yes.
you just talk us quickly through them before we try them out?
Well, as the theme is getting fit for summer, what I was thinking particularly for men and women is that you can hide your body in baggy dresses, and women particularly tend to focus on the bum and their belly. But actually what you always end up showing are your arms, aren't they? And a lot of women do ask me how they can...
I love her arms. just no flabby bits anywhere. It's like, oh, it's amazing.
Well, I'm going to show you what you can do to tone up your arms, because, you know, you always have to show them whatever, don't you, in hot weather.
Yeah.
And also, I thought I'd show you some really effective exercises to try and flatten the tummy, which are more effective than sit-ups. People think sit-ups give them a flat tummy, but sit-ups actually work this muscle here. Yeah. And it doesn't really give you a flat tummy, and I'll show you some nice functional exercises, and you're going to join in, I think, aren't you?
So I'm maybe not laying down with my white trousers, but I would certainly do this and my heels.
You do. I know you work with weights, and you've worked with weights before, haven't you? So that's why I brought you a set, because I thought you might enjoy
I won't make a fool of myself tonight. Even though the studio's still really baking hot, even though like after the aircon,
we'll be sweating in a minute.
I think it's broken.
And the other thing about weights, just quickly, is, you know, whenever I come on here, I always talk about the health side of working with weights and how important it is that we increase our bone density.
Especially women, right?
Yes, especially women, for all sorts of reasons which we've talked about before. But working with weights not only increase the density of your muscles, but it increases the density of your bones, which is a good thing, helps to prevent osteoporosis and osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis, and it can strike young. You know, Gwyneth Paltrow had it, didn't she? Yeah. So it's something that's just worth thinking about, a good motivation. It's health as well as aesthetics.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so we get stuck in then.
Should we start?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, so what I want to do is show you a few exercises and how to do it effectively. Do you want the heavy ones or the light ones?
The lighter ones, please.
So these, what I'm giving you, Chrissy, are 3 kilograms each.
They look small, but they're actually quite heavy. So.
Yeah, but you know, you want them to be... You want them to be heavy enough, don't you, to make a difference. So we'll just think about what makes it safe. You want to have soft knees, which means they're slightly bent, and draw your abdominals in so that you don't stand with your knees locked and your back arched, because you could hurt your back. So we'll just do a really simple exercise for the biceps. So you just lift the weights up and take them down. And what you see very often is people swinging the weights and swinging the body. So if you buy yourself a set of hand weights and you do it at home or you do it at the gym, just make sure that you stay nice and still through the body, and you'll feel that in a minute in your bicep. Can you feel it yet? Should we do one more?
Yes, I can now.
Yeah. It takes a bit longer with this muscle because it's quite a strong muscle, so it's used to being worked. So if you turn your hands over, I'm just going to give you a bit of space. We're going to work the shoulders. If you lift your elbows, that's perfect. So the weights don't come up too high. This one I can feel
more for some reason.
Well, our shoulders, our deltoid muscles aren't as strong. So as soon as you ask them to do this work, they're going to tell you straight away that they can feel it.
They're speaking loud.
What you're doing nicely is you're not lifting the shoulders up like this. So we want to keep the shoulders placed down the back. So I'll just show you a couple more quickly. So if you keep your shoulders nice and low, and without lifting your shoulder blade, just float one arm up and bring it back and float the other. And what you're working there is the front of the shoulder. Here, the front of the deltoid. Feel that? That's quite hard.
This gets rid of the flabby bits, right?
Well, it will give you a nice shape and posture to your shoulders. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you one for the backs of the arms, which is what a lot of people ask me about. So there's loads you can do for triceps. So this is just one. So if you lift up one weight and then lift it up in the air, remember not to arch your back. Bring your arm quite close to you. Now mind your left ear. Bend your arm. Now this is the bit that works, pushing it up. That works the tricep.
Oh, I can feel that.
Yeah. We'll just do a couple more. And I will just say, ideally, I'm talking for women, and I think James will probably be able to comment for men, but for women, I'm going to say, you want to be doing about 3 sets of 15. Change sides, Chrissy. About 3 sets of 15. And by the end of your third set, you should feel really quite fatigued, and you should feel it in the muscles.
I feel fatigued already.
And if you don't, well, if you feel it too quickly, perhaps the weight's too heavy, but if you don't feel it, the weight's too light. So you should feel challenged.
Okay.
But if you start losing your technique, you should stop and rest.
I think that's a good point. Technique's so important.
Technique, is important.
Rep range can definitely change, and I agree. I think working weights is fantastic, and big compound movements with more than one joint and muscle group, and I think, you know, it's great that you shouldn't be afraid to work with weights, and if you're doing it right, like you said, with good posture, don't be afraid of hitting that rep range and getting the technique and making sure you know.
I think that's right, because if you are determined to work with a certain weight because your friend does that and you end up losing your form, you're going to injure yourself, and it's just not worth it. But equally, lots of women particularly will reach for weights that are too light because they're frightened of creating bulk. And it's almost impossible for a woman. I mean, look at my arms. I work with weights all the time. But I don't work with extremely heavy weights, doing small repetitions with a really heavy weight. And women, you're not going to bulk up, I promise. I promise you. You'll just get a nice, and if you strip away fat through the cardio exercise and your nutrition, you'll get a nice shape and muscle tone to your arms by using weights. So do not be afraid of weights. You know, so we're all...
Jane, hormonally, there's no way that we will build up as much
as it's just not the
men,
pathways. It's just not going to happen.
And progesterone and
it's extremely difficult. So
but it's important because a lot of people do. They just do cardio, and you know they'll get that skinny, weak look. If you want to look strong, sexy, if you want a good body, you have to incorporate weight.
Yes, you can be skinny fat, can't you?
Yeah,
yes, you can. Yes, you can. So and it is about, for long-term health, you need a high amount of muscle mass. That's for long-term health, for your cardiovascular system, your bone strength.
Absolutely,
all of that needs muscle mass, and for shape and metabolism, because as we age, we lose muscle. And our metabolism will slow down.
Yeah, we're fighting against it constantly.
Exactly. So by building up the muscle,
and we've talked about that before, haven't we? About for each year, we lose body fat, and we gain body fat, and we lose muscle density. So the weight, it's the woman's best friend. Please trust me on that.
Definitely.
Come on, we've got to start it.
Body weight,
we've got time for one.
Weight.
I think we've got time for one floor exercise. James, do you want to help us with this one?
We're going to do a plank.
Should we do both? Let's do the all fours
While me
one
and
and the
Christine
hover.
relax.
Okay.
We'll just wait for the food afterwards, shall we?
So talking of body weight is as good as weights. So if you come onto all fours, this is a good one to do if you've been for a run or a long walk because it stretches the backs of the legs. You're doing it with us, James?
I'll join you on this exercise.
So we're going to draw our shoulder blades down so they're not up by the ears. Flat back, so we're not rounded in the back. We're quite flat in the back. You might need to look in a mirror to check that.
No, you're good. You're both good.
We're good. We're flat. We're just going to hover our knees off the floor. And the intensity increases in the shoulder girdle, the thighs, and the abdominals, but the more important
So you're hardly moving, but it's doing a lot of work.
It's minimal, it's a static hold, but it's great to build up and to work towards a plank and a straight arm plank or a forearm plank. It's excellent.
It's actually, this looks easy, but it's really, really hard. And you know, there's only a certain time you could hold this. Now I'm going to go into what we call face down dog, which is where you press your heels towards the floor, and don't worry if they won't reach. And a lot of men particularly have tight hamstrings. So they can't reach the floor. So yoga's great for men, and everyone thinks yoga's for women. My husband goes to yoga twice a week, and he loves it. Yeah, he does. He absolutely loves it. So this is a yoga position. We're drawing the belly button up towards the spine, tilting the tailbone to the ceiling, drawing the shoulder blades down the back and pushing the heels into the floor. Now what we could do from here is come into a plank, couldn't we? Perfect.
We could indeed.
Perfect transition.
So we could go into a straight arm plank, which is great for the upper body as well.
And I'll go into the modification, which is the easier version, by just putting my knees down.
Right, okay, so we've got two different versions there.
Right, so I'm not here, here.
It's a great progression, you know, you can't, sometimes you can't just jump into the main exercise.
Yeah.
No.
Have to progress your work, and that's an excellent word.
So if you've not got strength here, you can do the 3/4, but you can play with it. So you can do things like this. This is amazing for the abdominals.
Yeah.
You'll feel this more than you think. You can do a side plank, which is one of my favourite plank variations, and you can do things like this where you lift a foot, keeping your body still. Once you've done about 6 of these, you realise it's working your tummy, you feel it. And this is more effective for getting a flat, strong tummy than lying on your back and doing sit-ups, isn't it?
Now, after all that hard work, I think we have to try this stuff.
Just
before we go to race. So let's come over to the table.
It's warm in here anyway. So.
I don't know what was going on, so okay, so get a spoon, everyone. Who wants to try this?
Right,
Thank
so
you.
You might want to start with the kale salad
Might
first.
just use the same spoon.
Yeah, I think you might have to. So try the kale salad first. So that one is, if you remember, with the avocado in there. So it's almost quite hidden. So if you don't like that texture of avocado, when you mash it up into a kale salad, it's quite unique, isn't it?
It's lovely.
And that will actually keep in the fridge for 2 or 3 days.
I'm on my second bit because it's really tasty. People often think salad has to be boring.
No.
It's dull, but there is so many tastes in
that.
Yes,
it's got the low salty.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
It gives you that nice little kick. But the other thing is that a lot of people also forget that dark greens, like kale, are actually reasonably high in protein. And with the seeds in there as well, actually, that's actually quite a nutritious, quite substantial meal. Yeah. And it's high in fibre, so it'll fill you up.
Let's go into this one as well.
So try the chocolate.
So I'm using the same spoon as I did for the salad now.
So this is raw cocoa powder with the chia seeds, and the chia seeds are really rich in fibre, and that will fill you up, and is actually quite low in calorie, but really high in nutrients as well.
You know what's nice about that? So many puddings are too sweet, and all you taste is the sugar.
Yes,
but this is part of the whole lifestyle change. You can still enjoy a treat, but it's healthy.
Well, exactly. You wouldn't know that is any different than
you could serve that at a dinner party.
You could easily,
and no one would know
easily. And just very few ingredients as well, so it's great.
Amazing. Chrissy, thank you so much,
no
guys.
problem.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys have enough for your plates, I was going to say, to shape up for the summer. It's been a great show. But just one thing I'd like to end with. I used to do loads of exercise because I was feeling very down at one point in my life. So I agree with exercise, but if you're doing it just to feel better because you're feeling down about something, I would say, first of all, okay, do your exercise, but make sure you focus on what's inside as well to get help for that. And then once you do the exercise and you eat healthfully, you're going to be happy all round, aren't you guys?
Definitely.
Yeah, very
balanced.
Very
so thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time on the Chrissy B Show. Bye-bye for now.
See you soon. Bye.